CACFP Basic Training, Civil Rights. In this module, we will cover civil rights, including non-discrimination and accommodations requirements, translation resources and requirements, annual racial and ethnic data collection, filing complaints of discrimination, and civil rights training requirements. The CACFP is a federal program offered through the United States Department of Agriculture that is administered by all 50 states. Training on civil rights is required so that individuals involved in all levels of administration of programs that receive federal financial assistance understand federal laws, regulations, instructions, and policies related to civil rights and non-discrimination. It's of the utmost importance that no discrimination occurs in any of the USDA's child nutrition programs, including the CACFP. Discrimination is defined as different treatment which makes a distinction of one person or a group of persons from others, either intentionally, by neglect, or by the actions or lack of actions based on one or more protected bases. The federally protected bases include race, color, national origin, age, sex, including gender identity and sexual orientation, and disability. The three protected classes in Maine include religion, ancestry, and genetic information. To be eligible to operate the CACFP, you must agree to operate the program in compliance with civil rights laws and to implement non-discrimination regulations. This assurance is required to eliminate discrimination against applicants, participants, and beneficiaries, and helps to prevent future discrimination while addressing effects of past discrimination. All FNS assistance programs must include a public notification system to inform persons of program availability, program rights and responsibilities, the non-discrimination policy, and the procedure for filing a complaint. Elements of public notification include making program information available to the public upon request, prominently displaying the "And Justice for All" poster, informing potentially eligible persons, applicants, participants, and grassroots organizations of programs or changes in programs, conveying the message of equal opportunity in all photos and other graphics that are used to provide program-related information, providing appropriate information in alternative formats for persons with disabilities and in the appropriate languages for individuals with limited English proficiency, and including the required non-discrimination statements. One element of public notification involves the requirement to display the "And Justice for All" poster in a prominent location at your facility where parents and participants can easily view it. If parents and/or participants use more than one facility entrance to attend or leave your facility, then you should hang the poster at all entrances. State agency staff will provide new programs with the poster at pre-approval screenings. However, if you need additional posters, please contact the CACFP state office at the number on the screen. If you distribute CACFP program information to the public, the non-discrimination statement must be included on the information. The non-discrimination statement must be included on program materials such as program handbooks, websites and social media, and advertisements. The short non-discrimination statement must be on calendar-style posted menus only if they contain other CACFP program information. If they do not contain other CACFP program information, then the short non-discrimination statement does not need to be included on posted menus. There are two versions of the federal non-discrimination statement: the longer version, or the full non-discrimination statement, and the shorter version. The full non-discrimination statement should be included in bigger documents like program handbooks. The full non-discrimination statement, or a link to it, must also be on the home page of websites or the About page on social media pages. Wording of the non-discrimination statement must be exact and cannot be changed in any way, and the print size of the non-discrimination statement cannot be smaller than the text of the material. This is the full non-discrimination statement. As you can see, it's pretty long, so it works well in bigger publications like program handbooks. This is the short non-discrimination statement. It can be used on menus without prior approval, but any other CACFP document would require prior approval before using the short statement. It must be in a font size no smaller than the font size used in the rest of the publication, and it is required that you maintain a file with samples of pamphlets or flyers showing the non-discrimination statement. For more information about non-discrimination statements and/or to make sure that you're using the most current non-discrimination statement, please visit the webpage linked on the screen. Annual racial and ethnic data collection is used to determine how effectively FNS programs are reaching potentially eligible persons and beneficiaries. In the CACFP, programs that enroll participants should collect racial and ethnic data on enrollment forms. Programs that do not enroll participants should collect aggregate data on the population served. There are directions on the CACFP basic training page of the Maine Child Nutrition website to help with this. Program operators must take reasonable steps to ensure meaningful access to their program by individuals with limited English proficiency, which are individuals who do not speak English as their primary language and who have a limited ability to read, speak, write, or understand English. Meaningful access is accomplished by providing reasonable, timely, appropriate, competent, qualified, accurate, and effective language services to individuals with limited English proficiency when accessing programs and services. There are several CACFP documents available in foreign languages on the Maine CACFP website, but other program materials may need to be translated. In these cases, foreign language teachers, community organizations, and volunteers, as well as interpreter hotlines, can be used, but children should not be used to translate program requirements to parents and guardians. It is very important to make sure that translators understand CACFP confidentiality requirements. Some language assistance resources include the Migration Policy Institute's National Center on Immigration Integration Policy and the Department of Justice, as well as local language translation services. Civil rights laws protect persons with disabilities if they are potential applicants or participants in any FNS-funded programs. In this context, someone with a disability is defined as a person who has a physical or mental impairment that substantially limits one or more major life activities, has a record of such an impairment, or is regarded as having such an impairment, including impaired functions of the immune system, normal cell growth, digestive, bowel, bladder, neurological, brain, respiratory, circulatory, cardiovascular, endocrine, or reproductive functions. Major life activities include functions such as caring for oneself, performing manual tasks, walking, seeing, hearing, speaking, breathing, learning, and/or working. In order to ensure that everyone has equal access to your program, you should provide reasonable modifications for meal accommodations and ensure that food service areas are accessible. Disabled individuals should be accommodated in the least restrictive and most integrated setting possible. Allergy-free tables, such as peanut-free tables, are acceptable so long as they are not also punishment tables. Programs should provide auxiliary aids and services if needed. This includes, but is not limited to, food service aids, adaptive feeding equipment, and meal tracking assistance. Food substitution requests related to disabilities must be accommodated unless providing the accommodation would fundamentally alter the nature of your program, and they require a note from a doctor or registered dietitian. Complaints of discrimination shall be accepted by organizations participating in the CACFP and forwarded to the USDA FNS Regional Office of Civil Rights. The Maine Human Rights Commission must be notified as well. Complaints must be filed within 180 days of the alleged act of discrimination. Agencies may develop their own complaint forms, but the use of such forms cannot be a prerequisite for acceptance. A civil rights complaint log shall be maintained by the subrecipient agency, and confidentiality is extremely important and must be maintained. Complaints of discrimination must be filed at the office of the Maine Human Rights Commission at 51 State House Station in Augusta. When you participate in the CACFP, you have two different training requirements related to civil rights. The first civil rights training requirement involves one staff person from each participating organization watching the state agency's annual civil rights training, which is provided as a recorded, on-demand training on the CACFP basic training page of the Maine Child Nutrition website, and then completing the accompanying civil rights quiz, which documents meeting this requirement. The second civil rights training requirement involves training all CACFP staff and their immediate supervisors on the topic of civil rights annually. Because civil rights information and requirements are the same for all programs, you can use the state agency's recorded civil rights training to train your CACFP staff. You'll document your compliance with this requirement by recording your in-house trainings. You can use the form on the screen to document your in-house trainings, or you can use other methods. For more information on civil rights requirements for child nutrition programs, the federal and state non-discrimination statements, and the Maine Child Nutrition Program's civil rights training, please visit the webpage on the screen. Let's review what we've covered in this module. Programs in the CACFP cannot discriminate on the basis of race, color, national origin, age, sex, including gender identity and sexual orientation, disability, religion, ancestry, or genetic information. Your application must be accompanied by a written assurance that your program will comply with civil rights laws. You must have the required information available to the public, including the non-discrimination policy. The non-discrimination statement is required on all program documents distributed to the public, and you must ensure that these documents are accessible to LEP individuals. You must provide meal accommodations and accommodate food substitutions related to disabilities. At least one staff person from your program is required to attend the annual CACFP state agency training, which includes civil rights training, and all CACFP staff members are required to complete annual in-house civil rights training. Thanks for watching.